The year was 2010. Kirby hadn't had a star roll on a home console in 7 years. To put an end to this drought, you'd think they'd release a game that went back to the basics, right?
My friends, the answers are right here.
Nope, they decided to make everything out of yarn.
This game is unlike any Kirby game that came before it, which makes sense. It wasn't even planned to be a Kirby game. The game was developed by Goodfeel,
And I don't know how to feel about that name. Good?
They're the people who brought us Yoshi's Woolly World and are currently working on that new Yoshi game for Switch. Anyways, in the early stages of development, it was called Kito no Fluff, which translates to Fluff of Yarn. At that point, the main character was Prince Fluff, and the story was about him looking for his lost mother. Then, in 2009, Nintendo said, "Yo, Kirby should be in it," and Goodfeel said, "Okay." So they made Kirby the main character, bumped Prince Fluff to player 2, and changed the story to something a little more Kirby-ish. The game was shown off at E3 2010 and released on October 14th of the same year to critical acclaim. But how does it hold up today?
Pretty well.
That's all, folks.
Starting with the story. An evil sorcerer named Yin Yarn is going around Dreamland and turning its inhabitants into yarn, to put an end to the wrath of the evil sorcerer. Kirby decides to take a walk in the park, where he stumbles across a bush with a tomato on it. He goes to eat it, when suddenly, Yin Yarn reveals he was behind the bush and the tomato was on top of his head. Yin Yarn says, "Don't eat that, it's mine." Kirby ignores him and eats it anyways. Yin Yarn gets mad, turns Kirby into yarn, and transports him to Patchland through a magical sock. This is where Kirby encounters Prince Fluff, and the two decide to work together to restore Patchland. Blah blah blah, they beat up some bad guys, get some magic yarn, restore Patchland, defeat Yin Yarn, the end.
The story is really basic and is only there to explain why Kirby is made of yarn. But I don't play Kirby for the story. I play for the gameplay, and this game delivers.
The gameplay is very different from other Kirby games, and I love it. All the recent Kirby games feel the same, so playing a game like this is refreshing. The controls are tight, the platforming is solid, the art style is awesome, and there's an abundance of unique levels that use yarn in an interesting new way. These levels are broken up into 7 main worlds. You get all the basics: grass, lava, water, and snow. You get Dreamland, and you get 2 pretty unique world ideas. Treatland, which is filled with desserts, toys, and instruments, and Spaceland, which is some futuristic city. Overall, pretty solid variety of worlds. But even within those worlds, every level has its own feel and a unique environment to explore, making no 2 levels feel the same. One level you could be escaping an erupting volcano, and the next you could be climbing on dinosaurs, exploring the jungle. The game never really gets stale. Each level introduces a new concept and allows you to play around with it. It's awesome. Not to mention all the new transformations Kirby can get. He can be a dolphin, a saucer, a giant tank, a music note, a train, and plenty more. Each of these transformations mix up the gameplay, and each is really fun to use. Some of my favorite moments in the game are riding around as Spin Border Kirby or destroying everything in my path as Tankbot Kirby. I only have one gripe with this game, and that's the difficulty level. This game is super easy. You can't even die. When you fall off the edge or hit an enemy, you just lose a few gems. This means all the boss fights are super easy and really not all that fun. The only time this game is hard is when you try to get a gold medal. A gold medal is obtained by collecting a lot of gems in a level, which will add some challenge to the game, but the real challenge is trying to do this in 2-player. Both players share gems, so if one player is less skilled than the other and keeps dying, the other player suffers by not achieving the gold, even if that person didn't mess up once. Needless to say, if you're trying to get the gold, multiplayer makes the game harder. But if you're trying to get all this game's collectibles, or just reach the goal, multiplayer makes it extremely easy. One player can pick up and throw the other player, which makes all the hard-to-reach platforms super easy to reach, and makes all the walls and enemies in your path super easy to pass. I do have to say, the multiplayer is a lot of fun, and is much better than the multiplayer in other 2D platformers. But with core gameplay aside, this game offers a couple more things to do. You are given a house that you can fully customize in the form of Kirby's pad, which is cool, but I don't care at all. If I wanted to customize a house, I would play Animal Crossing. But for what it is, it's pretty good. You can buy fabric patterns and furniture from the shops in Quilty Square, and then display them in your house. Oh, and it turns out those collectibles you found throughout your playthrough can be displayed, which adds some replay value to the game. Then, when you're done customizing, you walk out of your house and discover you have a neighbor. You go and talk to him and he asks you to play a game of hide and seek. You accept because you have nothing better to do and continue to find him and his 4 friends. For your troubles, you're given a prize. Then, the landlord enters. He says he wants to expand the apartment building and tells you the price. So you pay him, and he adds another story to the building. These new rooms are empty and don't have any tenants, so you have to decorate the room using the items you found during your adventure. If you don't have something, you have to go back and get it, which again, adds to the replay value. And once you're finished decorating, the room gets a tenant and a new game opens up. When you win the game, you're given a prize and the cycle continues. Though none of this is necessary to completing the game, it does give you a reason to go back and play levels again. Besides that, I do want to compliment the game's music. The majority of it is new compositions and they all sound really good. There aren't many remix tracks, but the ones included sound just as good as the new ones.
Sure, it's not a traditional Kirby game, but it doesn't need to be. It's just a unique 2D platformer with an awesome art style starring Kirby. What more could you want? If you have a dust-covered Wii or Wii U lying around, give it new life. Play this game. You'll have fun with it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. I'll be releasing new videos every other Wednesday, so stay tuned. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your day and I'll see you soon.